Alrighty, so once again we have Al Milton from AXA, the Food Security Coordinator. Okay, and so thanks for the tour of the garden, Al. I just had a couple questions to ask, or a few questions to ask about food security.
Sure.
So can you tell, I guess, the viewers at home or in the class, in a nutshell, what is food security?
Well, food security is a very broad topic, and it can mean many different things. But the definition or the approach that I use here at AXA defines food security as three main things. So to be food secure, you have access to healthy food that's good for your body. You have access to food that is culturally relevant, food that is part of your tradition, part of your cuisine and culture. And then you have access to food that is enough food to feed you without having to go hungry or to reduce it.
Okay, that's actually a good definition. Now, I was wondering too, because when I mentioned when I went in my car earlier and was whipping out my baton and the handcuffs and stuff, and me not hearing about food security, it's interesting that now that I've been in this, I guess, learning about this field, how much there is to know about it, but you don't really hear it in the mainstream news. Why do you think that is?
I think food security isn't front and center in the news for a number of reasons. I think on one hand, no one, the parts of our country and city and province who have the money, landowners, corporations, where the money is centered, don't like to focus on the people who don't have enough. So there's that kind of classism exists, and that's the basic reason, I think. But also, this ignoring food issues is also, I think, because there's no quick, easy solution for it.
Okay.
So, because to actually help people become more food secure would require to put wealth in the hands of low-income folks.
Okay.
And no one really wants to give up their own wealth. Almost
like they're kind of comfortable, I guess, with their privilege.
That's good. That's a great phrase you used. Yes.
Thank you. So the community garden, I noticed that you mentioned that it's a lot of seniors. It helps a lot of seniors are the ones who do the gardening. So do you think that's do you think that that's an answer to food security or improving food security, or what do you think or can you discuss that? What is?
Sure. So, well, new research is coming out this past year that demonstrates that although gardening and cooking classes are important and give people some physical activity and things to do, it actually doesn't go too far in helping to prevent food insecurity. And that's because the research says that the biggest help to help folks be food secure is actually financial.
Mm-hmm.
So our large income gap in our society is pretty much fixing that would fix people's food insecurity. Growing food in a garden, while it's great physical activity and it's great for the environment, is just a band-aid solution.
Yeah. Is there anything more than that? I was reading an interesting article about, I guess, from Proof, about Newfoundland and Labrador, how they actually completely revamped their social assistance programs so that they would they improve things like benefits and stuff like that, availability of more affordable housing and stuff like that. I think that could also, I guess, do you think that would actually help as well, or?
I believe it would help. I especially in Toronto, housing is so expensive here that people are spending more than half of their income just to have a place to put their heads.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine there's not much money left at the end to buy food, right?
Yeah.
If there was more support for folks who needed it, then there'd be more ways for them to access food as well.
Okay. Now I know also too that one of, I guess, our biggest answer, I guess society's biggest answer to food insecurity so far is food banks. So what is your take on food banks?
I think food banks were created 3 decades ago more as a quick solution or a quick temporary fix to people's food security crisis.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed. There's been no new initiative to bring food for people who need it. So I think food banks fill a short-term need. If someone needs food like this week, you can go to a food bank and get, non-perishable, nothing fresh or green most of the time. So it's good for an emergency. I mean, I see the purpose and the need.
Yeah.
However, our society has now used food banks as a long-term solution, and it really isn't.
No, it does nothing to really change the fact that they're not making enough money. What about the quality of the food?
There's a couple food banks here and there that manage to give fresh food out, but the majority of food banks it's canned food filled with salt, sugary cereals, like white flour, things like that.
Yeah.
Which is not the best for health, especially in the long term.
Yeah.